Hello, and welcome back. Welcome back. Yes. Let me adjust this mic volume here. All right. Welcome back to another segment of Untitled Opinions and Who Asked You? All right, it's your boy Ray Caruso. What's popping with y'all? You already know it's us, never them, always. All right, man. I've been out for a couple days or a little bit, but I'm back. I'm back to bring y'all another segment. I don't know if that song played, but I guess I'll check it after I do all the editing and stuff like that, right? The fake editing I be doing. I like to do this live, you know what I mean? Like on the go. Anyways, how y'all been doing? I've been good, staying alive, dealing with family things. I got a puppy. Puppy is all right. It was like a 5 month black Labrador or lab mix, you know. Someone gave me the dog, so it was kind of interesting because I never really got a shelter dog before. So having a shelter dog, it's not really a shelter dog. Someone had the dog, and I guess the dog was in the shelter for like 2 weeks or something like that. Anyways, the lady gave me the dog, and it's a good dog. It's a good girl. It's already neutered. It's already got its shots and all that. So, and it's microchipped. So that's even better. And I was like, oh wow, a dog that's microchipped. Jesus, I can never lose this dog, then, huh? I can never lose the dog. It's cool. It's cool. It's August, man. Summer went by real quick. I don't know if y'all felt the same. I didn't really go on any vacations this summer. I haven't really done any trips, you know. People who've been doing these trips, I swear to God, they have to be like people who live in apartments or who live with people. Once you buy a house and you have all these bills and mortgages and shit, you're like, oh man, take a vacation once I catch up and I'm like, comfortable. Or vacation to me is like going 2 hours out, 4 hours out, 6 hours out, tops eight. I'm not driving 10, 12 hours. At that point, I'm going to take the bus or a flight. But I've only, you know, been local. I haven't been doing any vacation. The only vacation I've been doing is like catching up on sleep, you know? But it is what it is. It happens. Not everybody's taking vacations like everyone else, doing all these fancy trips, which is okay. A lot of us got to stack bread. And I think that's what a lot of us need to tell, our younger people and the youths, like, hey, go out there and live your life. Yeah, have fun, but you got to be just, if you're not going to be any responsible, like, or if you're not going to have any responsibility, be at least responsible with money. You know what I mean? Like, go out there and save money. Like, we should always tell the youth, like, the biggest game as a youth is saving money. If you can save money when you're young, you're beating everybody else. That's just my opinion. Because just think about it. If you were saving money when you were young instead of like spending it frivolously, by the time you reach your age now, you'd have had money. You'd have been like, oh, cool. I was saving money, so I'm good now. I don't really have to do all the craziness, but you would because you never had money and you don't know how to spend money. And that's the problem too. Because in one hand, you're like, hey, don't spend crazy, have some responsibility. But on the other hand, if they've never seen what spending crazy is, they've never, seen it or touched it or even witnessed it, then by the time they save this money and they start to use this money, they'll go broke immediately. You know what I mean? Because saving money is one. There's more to it than just saving money. You gotta know how to save money, how to spend money, and how not to, do craziness with the money. And in the same sense, you got to have all that out of you already. You know what I mean? Because if you never partied before, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna go out there and party. And your first few parties, you might be spending a lot of money, and that becomes a habit. And you don't want to do that or make it a habit of spending a lot of money in the clubs. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. That's just my untitled opinion. You know, I saw Joe Rogan's Netflix series. Fell asleep on it. I don't know if I fell asleep on it because I was watching it too late, but I fell asleep on it. It had some funny parts. I'm gonna lie to you. Is it a must see? Eh. I wouldn't go rushing to go see it, or I wouldn't be rushing to get a subscription and go see it. I got a subscription with Netflix with commercials, so That's how I watched it. Okay, moving on. Moving on, you know, I always tell people, man, August is like, even though what they say, April rain brings May, whatever that is. Even though those couple months before June brings all the rain, August has a lot of rain too, you know. And every Labor Day, I swear it rains on August. It's like something you can't avoid. It's not like it rains all day, but it rains like a heavy amount and then it clears up later in the day. You know, you can literally start to feel the weather changing. You know, you can't smell the snow, but you can smell fall coming. You know, you can smell summer leaving you, summer walking away. Like, okay, this was fun. Adios, deuces. Hey, bring your ass back, summer. We need a few more weeks, just a few more weeks of this heat. All right, just a few more weeks. Let's see. Let's see. You know what? I have an untitled opinion. I don't know if it's true or not, but to my understanding, it has to be a little difficult, for married couples to roam about the earth, not wanting to feel attracted by other people besides their married spouses or their married persons. You know what I mean? But I think that goes for everybody, not just married people. I believe human beings want to be wanted, or at least want to be attracted beyond the person that finds them attractive. You know, I don't think it's possible that a lot of humans don't care, and there's probably a small percentage of that. But in my entitled opinion, I believe a lot of people walk this world looking for that attractiveness, or looking for someone to let them know that they're attractive. You know what I mean? With that being said, how do married couples go about it? And I don't believe it's a bad thing for you to be married and for you to, have the inclination of someone else being attractive. Like, you're human, you know. That's not wrong for you to go on like, oh my God, I found someone attractive. They were very attractive. I'm married, but I'm not gonna sleep with them. I mean, find people attractive every day. And it takes a mature group or a mature person to understand that that happens. You know what I mean? A lot of people aren't mature enough to understand that happens, that you go out and you can be nice, and then you can be honest, and then you can be, what's the word I'm looking for? You can be friendly without having it to be sexual, or anything more than that. You know what I mean? It could be a platonic relationship. But the fact that the other person may not have the maturity enough to understand or to realize that. And then what happens is they feel, they get jealous, or they're like, oh no, you're out there talking to other people, you want to sleep with them, you like them. And it's not necessarily you don't want to sleep with them. It's not necessarily, it's like, yo, I'm married. Why don't I want to sleep with them? I'm married. I'm sleeping with you. I don't need to sleep with them. I like hanging around with good looking people. And a lot of times it's an issue because they're like, well, you're too friendly, you know. And it's both sexes saying that, the male and the female. The male is telling the woman like, oh, come on, you're too friendly. Or the female is telling the male, oh, you're too nice, or you're too kind, you're too friendly. But it's just them being them. It's not like they're going out there leading on that they're not married, or leading on that they want to, have sex with you or sleep with you, or any inclination like that. It takes a lot of maturity. I'm saying that's just my opinion. I believe it takes a lot of maturity for you to be married, and for you to understand that the person you married is obviously going to go outside and get hit on, or be attracted by some other people, and that's okay, because you obviously married someone who's an attractive person, right? You know, it's all about taking you know, taking into effect that this person isn't going to disrespect you. You know what I mean? And I've met a lot of people who aren't. I've met a lot of married couples who go out there and, they meet attractive people, and they're like, oh yeah, that person is attractive. They talk to them, but they're not talking to them one on one. They're talking to them in a group setting, and I think that's what establishes. a platonic relationship. Like, I'm not trying to get with you. I already established I'm married. I just think you're attractive. I think you look good, and I'm, it may be just a compliment, which doesn't which doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? It's okay to compliment a person to let them know they look good. You know, it doesn't really necessarily have to lead to more. That's just my entitled opinion. My entitled opinion. I don't necessarily see why a lot of single guys sleep with married women. You know what I mean? I get the idea or the fantasy of it, but after some point or after a certain point in your life, you got to be like, yeah, why am I sleeping with this married woman? I mean, not to say that, you know, so yes, let's say yes. I am saying, why are you sleeping with this married woman? Because there are plenty of unmarried women, who possibly share some of the same things that married woman has, but you have to cipher through a lot to get to that. You know what I mean? Which I can understand. You don't want a lot of men don't want to cipher through that. They meet a married woman, and they're doing what they can, whether it's a married woman or a married man. They're meeting this married person, and they're trying to, you know, get so far deep. But they're not trying to break up their marriage, but they just want to feel what that other married person feels that they've never felt before, which is, again, I understand, but I don't get why, us men need to sleep with some of these married women. Like, some of these married women need to be left alone. Like, you're married? Oh, wow, that's good for you. Jesus Christ. You know, not Jesus Christ, but like, okay, like, continue on. You're married. Uh-huh. I believe married women or married couples should be going out there teaching other people how to be married. You know, that's just my entitled opinion. Because what are you doing if you're a married woman, right? You got single friends and they're going out. What are you really teaching them? And obviously, you going out, you're gonna see attractive people, and people are gonna see attractive, people are gonna find you attractive, and they're possibly going to approach you. It gets tiresome telling people, "Oh, I'm married, I'm married, I'm married, I'm married, I'm married," or no, 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 no. Like, you might as well just stay in the crib or stay in the house. That's my entitled opinion. What's the reason? Of course you want to have fun, and of course you should go out and not have to deal with people wanting to flirt with you or anything like that all the time. But it's life, and that's what happens. There's a lot of lonely people outside. you know I don't believe a lot of women understand that there's a lot of lonely men outside. Okay, a lot of lonely men. A lot of women believe that men are out there sleeping with 1,000 women every day, and it isn't true. These a lot of men are lonely. All right, let's just get it out there and make it clear. A lot of these guys are lonely. So when they're out there and they do go out, yeah, they're going to talk to almost anything walking, or any woman walking, because they're lonely. And a lot of women don't understand that, because in my opinion, I don't believe a woman really understands loneliness. I believe, in my entitled opinion, a women pick and choose the variations of loneliness. You know, because they're seeing their loneliness as a lovely, like their love is lonely. You know what I mean? Like, they're alone in this love world, or they're alone in this certain frame of love that they're looking for that they're not getting, and they feel alone. But a lot of men are just looking at it like, I'm just alone. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm just alone. I'm alone. And they're not with anybody. But a lot of women are like, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. But it is. It's true. That motherfucker's alone. You know? That person's alone. That being said, we should try more as a community to build relationships with other people, to get an understanding of what relationships are. You know, of course, have friendships, but the community center should be giving out programs or one-on-ones. Now, not one-on-one, like one-on-one with one person, one-on-one, but like a one-on-one, like to show you or to teach you or provide you with information on personalities, relationships, and people. Because you meet a certain people in your community, but there's a million bajillion type of people and personalities that you have to understand and come to deal with. You know what I mean? So I believe a lot of the community centers should teach that. A lot of the schools should probably have outside people come in and teach kids and teach people about relationships. You know, that's just my entitled opinion. Because a lot of people go out there and they start these relationships on a selfish stand, and it's always about me, me, me. Which again, I'm an understandable person. I can understand that. You possibly ruined your life, and it wasn't about you. And now that you're in a relationship, you want it to be about you, about you, and that's understandable because it's never been about you. You want someone to, hold you high up, and always have to either rely or be there for you. You want that because you've always done it for someone else. That feeling back is what a lot of people are dying for. They're running out there searching for. You know, and sometimes it's hard to find because you have to meet honest people. When you can meet an honest person who's honest with themselves, and honest with their feelings. Not to say that they're not going to be learning in life because everyone's learning. You know, how you grew up and how the person you like grew up is too different. Unless you grown up with them all your life and you saw them grow up, but their family and your family are two different ways. You know what I mean? They may have grown up or had different family values than your family values. Not to say they're so totally different, but their upbringings are different, and you have to understand that. You know, you have to take that into consideration that the person you're searching for or trying to be with, their upbringing is different. You know, and then after you take that into consideration, you have to then analyze it and understand if that's the road you want to continue on because it's a road of learning. It's a road of fails, a lot of failures, a lot of, you know, a lot of goods, a lot of bads, and a lot of learning. Okay. And that's the honest truth. That's just my opinion. It takes a lot of learning in order to be in these relationships. If you're getting with someone and that person isn't, trying to learn, then obviously this isn't going to be a successful relationship. Like the person wants to have to learn about you, about your life, and vice versa. You know what I mean? In order for it to be a good relationship. That's just my entitled opinion. You know, I watch the Olympics, or everyone's talking about the Olympic breakdancing, and I saw the video clip, and I was horrified because I was like, I would assume there's black people in Australia teaching people how to break dance, and then who's teaching you how to do this, and who's saying it was good, But again, everyone's entitled to their opinion of what good is. You can go out there, and again, dancing is really just about emotion. You know, a lot of it is for the moves, but a lot of it is about emotion. The moves come from emotions. So the fact that you're what looks like you're trying so hard throws the audience off on the emotion you're trying to bring. You can be keeping a steady smile on your face. Yeah, cool. But at the end of the day, the emotion doesn't come out of your moves. It looks like you're hurting. It looks like you're struggling, but you're still keeping a smile on. That doesn't really do nothing for us. I couldn't understand how that got into the Olympics. I mean, I can understand it. Everyone gets the chance, and they probably was like, hey, this is the best that came out of Australia. So it gets to go up against the rest of the competition, you know? And I applaud that person that would break dance in Australia, because that shows you how far the culture is going, I'm always for the culture. Whether or not you're doing it properly or doing it in a way that the culture is like, oh yeah, that's the right way. I like the fact that you've gotten a taste of the culture and you like it. You know, I like the fact that the culture's touched you and you felt the vibration. And you was like, yeah, I like that culture. Because I feel as though everyone should be a part of it. Everyone should get into it. See it, understand it. You know, not necessarily everyone has to be a part of it, but to see it and understand the culture is a good thing. Because Black people understand and see all cultures. We're very viewing culture. We'll view these cultures and we'll see it, and we have no problem, analyzing it and establishing a relationship with those other cultures. You know, That's what Black people do. A lot of people are doing that. A lot of cultures are doing that. It's not just Haitian people who stay with Haitian people. Like Haitian people, like Jamaican people, Trinidadians, like Jamaican. They might not get along everybody, but trust me, a lot of these cultures are getting up, mixing and mingling, and everyone's understanding each other's culture, which is a good thing because that's what you want. You want the spread of culture to go around. I'm more for the culture than I am for, certain religions. I not to say that I don't have a belief. I believe there's a higher belief. I believe that people should, have some belief, but I also believe that, a lot of those religions separate us, where I don't believe the culture separates us. You have a culture. That culture doesn't, necessarily separate you, because that person can also accept your culture, you know, be a part of it. But again, they have their own culture as well. And you can also be a part of their culture, see their culture, view it, analyze it, and all that good stuff. It wouldn't be so much of a separation or separatist thing. But I believe, in my entitled opinion, America makes money off of separatists anyway. The more you separate, the more money you can make. That's just my entitled opinion. That's just my untitled opinion. My untitled opinion. A lot of people go about having relationships a little funny to me. Women would talk, and I'm gonna just say women. Men and women would say, I only want to date a women of this complexion. Okay, so let me actually break this down. What I've noticed or I've seen a lot is men will date women who sometimes look like their mother. It's my entitled opinion. They'll sometimes date women that either look like their mother or resemble a woman of statue of their family, or women of their family. You know what I mean? That's my belief on how men operate. And they'll date these certain, statues, or these certain women that they've accustomed to seeing, even though all their, family members happen to be a different hue, and their mother might be a different hue. They're dating this hue because that's what they're, you know, accustomed to seeing, or that's what they're choosing. And a lot of times when I see females, sometimes I've come to see women are choosing men basically on his eye color, skin color, and height. Okay, with the determination that the baby will come out with good skin, good height, good color, good hair. And my entitled opinion, I believe this is what messes up a lot of relationships. The fact that you're dating for these attributes will more than likely leave you or lead you into a failed relationship, because now you're now playing a deeper game than everyone else is playing. Okay, because now you're trying to play science, instead of really dating people. Because in my opinion, a lot of people, because it's human for you to go out and date someone you're attracted to, but when you're dating and then moving this further on the level, like, well, I'm dating and then looking for a specific type of person because this is the specific type of baby I want to come out of it. I believe that's a harsh game to play in society, because that can lead you down a path of you know getting that person you want, but and ultimately being the wrong relationship you get. You know, and that's just how life is. You can't pick and choose everything you want, and for it to be all cookies and cream at the end of the day. You're going out there breaking down a human being. They can be good, honest, loyal, and all that, but that won't be good enough unless they have these specific attributes. And that sucks, because a lot of men are missing out because they don't have these specific attributes, but they have a whole bunch of other things, you know and which is crazy, because even though these women have these specific attributes, they can meet a man with money and all those attributes will go down the fucking drain. Isn't that insane? Why does that happen? You know, why does money overcome everything for a large percentage of women? Not to say that money doesn't overcome everything for man, but a man doesn't necessarily make it or break it with your money. Like men aren't like okay, let's say for instance, like Beyonce walks by. Of course, a lot of men want to sleep with Beyonce, but they're not throwing. I mean, they possibly are. Let me say this. Let me get someone else. Kelly Rowland. I gotta pick a woman that has like a lot of money. Oprah. All right. A lot of men aren't throwing and dying to get at the helm of Oprah where she's sitting at. They might be because she got the money, but it's not on the same thing like when women see Chris Brown and like, oh my God, or when women see little baby or one of these famous dudes and they have money. The money supersedes a lot of shit. The money supersedes so much that they'll start believing now that you look good because you have money. Because you have money now, you look better. And that's, in my entitled opinion, fucking crazy. Because, and it's not a bad thing that it's crazy, but because you have money, and not just some money, because you have a lot of money now, you look good. But when you didn't have all that money, you was fucking ugly. I think that's crazy to me. I think that's a horrendous idea. You know, the fact that you're trying to break down an honest idea of what a relationship to be so you can attribute it to getting a specific baby is ridiculous. I believe God is looking at people like, all right, that's what she thinks she's gonna get. That's what, because I don't believe a lot of men are dating women so they can get babies at a specific color or babies with long hair or babies with a specific eye color. I don't necessarily believe that, in my entitled opinion. But I believe a lot of women are dating guys merely off the fact that he's light skinned, merely off the fact that he's 6'3", merely off the fact that he has good hair, all that. And they're using that to, solidify that they like this person. And then when they get into relationship, the relationship is fucking horrible. Not to say all of it is horrible, but a large percentage of those relationships are horrible and failed relationships. And then what happens is they have that baby. They have that baby, but is having that baby going to make you keep that man? No, because you'd rather raise the baby alone. A large percentage do. They'll rather raise the baby alone than have to deal with this man and his issues because she chose to deal with a man with specific attributes than to deal with an honest, real man and then see the attributes later. But that's just a human thing. Again, a lot of us men date chicks with fat asses, but we're not dating you with your fat ass with hoping that the baby comes out with a fat ass or the baby comes out with big titties. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that's never the case. But a lot of women are dating men like this. They dating that guy merely because he's his skin color and his height. Like, oh my God, he's 6'6", and look at his skin color. His skin is good. Like, just his skin is good. Like, have you seen his mom, his dad, his great aunts? And like, girl, who? But again, it's a human thing. You see what you see. You think you know, but you don't know. That's why I say a lot of people need this information, because I don't believe a lot of parents are in-house telling these kids that, don't go out here with these misconstrued ideas of relationships and stuff like that. Don't go out here picking and choosing men, because you picking and choosing men is already a bad thing for you because you don't know how to fucking pick and choose. Go about people with honesty. Go about meeting people being honesty or being honest and open, you know, and then realize their attributes later. Not telling you to go out there and meet ugly people and that you don't ultimately find attractive and seeing attracted to them. No, I'm telling you to meet people you find attractive and later on, check their attributes later. You find them physically attractive, great. All right. Now you can analyze, well, he's not 6'7". Does that really fucking matter? No. Okay, he doesn't have brown hazel eyes that you dreamed about your baby having, but does that really matter? Does some of that really make or break the relationships some of you females have with men? Does some of these actually, does his size 10 really make or break that? You know, that's just my entire opinion. You know, that because that's just crazy. I never understood that. Why women do things like that. Oh yeah, I got with him because I know we can make good looking babies. Like, what does that mean? Yeah, you guys can make good looking babies. And I believe women are the one out there saying babies are ugly. You know, that's an ugly baby. That's something that women are saying. I think a lot of men are out there saying that's an ugly baby. It's like that's just a baby. You know, that's just my untitled opinion. You know, that's just my untitled opinion. You know, but anyways, continuing on. What we got? 30 already into the session, half an hour. You know what I mean? Continuing on, continuing on. A lot of people, don't know what they're doing or go about things. Okay, here's an untitled opinion. A lot of people are doing things unknowingly. You know, a lot of people, a lot of people, a lot of people, a lot of people are using people unknowingly and knowingly. A lot of people go about doing things because no one has checked them on it before, and they keep doing it repetitively unknowing. You know, and in my entitled opinion, that happens because a lot of us aren't introducing the facts to people. When we're accepting the critiques and the criticisms from other people, but we're not being honest on the exchange. And sometimes in the exchange, a lot of people would say, oh well, you're only feeling this way because I presented how I'm feeling. But in my honest opinion, I believe a lot of people don't want to relay how they're feeling because it doesn't make or break the relationship or the foundation that they're making with you. You know, not to say that they're lacking communication. No, I don't believe that a lot of people lack in communication. I believe what's known doesn't have to be said. You know, but in the same sense, a lot of times the communication can be presented to a person, and then they'll respond back, and that person will feel like they're being attacked, which it isn't. They're being attacked. It's just this person is relaying that, okay, you've provided this statement or this response. I have accepted it, and in defense, or I don't really want to say defense, but in my reply, I've also come with a statement to, you know, not to rebuttal what you're saying, but to understand why you feel like that and why it isn't a fair playing field for your feelings. Because a lot of people just are just, self-centered on their feelings. Like, oh, I feel. I'm not getting. I want this. I want this. But in the same sense, I don't believe a lot of people knowingly know that they're doing what they want for the other person. You may want to feel and want all this and want, but in the same breath, are you, providing that person that same sense? Do they feel that you're providing them that? You can't assume that you are, you know, and that's the problem. A lot of people assume making an ass out of you and me, but you can't assume that you are doing it. And a lot of people are like, well, I assume that because they're not saying anything. Again, like I said before, a lot of things don't need to be said if it's known already. But a lot of people go about, relationships like, I need to know you care. But beyond just telling me or showing me, I need to get this extra notion that you really care, or I need it. And we have to understand that maybe sometimes a lot of us don't know how to provide that extra, and it's a learning process. Again, if they're admitting to it and they're willing to accept that this is something they need to learn in order to provide you, then that's great. But in the same sense, you have to understand that maybe you're not providing that same, notion back to them that they would like, but they're not stressing it because it doesn't make or break the foundation they're building with you. You know, that's just my entitled opinion. That's just my entitled opinion. I don't understand why. I was watching this 90 Day Fiance, and I've said this before, a lot of these shows are really dragging it out now, dragging it. Like the first few seasons was good, like word, and then they changed it in and out and pillow talk 90 day, like they're dragging this 90 Day Fiance thing out. All right. So why I'm saying this is, in my untitled opinion, I don't necessarily believe when you meet someone from another country that that person is ultimately just going to find you and no one else attractive. I think finding someone else from even another state, or is even almost on the same sense, because you're finding someone from another state and then you're bringing them to your state. A lot of people haven't seen this. It's kind of like high school, when you get into freshman year, you're like fresh meat. A lot of townspeople, city people see that like, oh man, I've seen this person, I've never seen them before, and they communicate with you like, yeah, it's fresh me, it's a fresh person. They can the towns can feel that person is freshly new, which makes things a little harder because you know people are people. They're attracted to who they're attracted to. Obviously, you brought this person to the country to see you, and they should only be attracted to you. But you got to be honest with yourself. What's the likelihood of this person only being attracted to you? Am I trying to say that this person isn't going to go out there and disrespect you? No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, or what I understand is that a lot of these 90 Day Fiance relationships get rocky in the first year or 12, 14 months. And what I've noticed is because they're bringing these people from their country, which is, you know, it isn't like America. You know what I'm saying? So when they come to America, it's new. Everything is new. It's a new world. It's a new playing field. And, a lot of us, what I see, it seems like we were expecting them to drop whatever they're known back in their country and then just know us, which is a horrible thing to have an idea of. This person's also obviously going to want to communicate with people. It's going to get on Facebook. It's going to get on Instagram. It's going to get on, WhatsApp and create, what I'm saying? That's what is going to happen. It's not something you can stop because you can't constantly feed someone communication and everything that came from another world. You know what I mean? Like you only have so much to give them. You know what I mean? They're only going to consume you. Once they've consumed you and their bottles filled with you, the slight notion of anything different from you is going to spark this, ooh, what's that like? You know? And I think a lot of us have that in us, like, ooh, what's that like? Ooh, 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 ooh. But a lot of us push back because, like, okay, we may want to know what's that like, but we don't want too much of that. That's just my entitled opinion. They get on these 90 days and they're having a hard time because it's like, come on, it's hard for a person to come from Congo who has this culture and then to meet an American person and then to believe that he has to erase his culture, his upbringing, his belief, and then erase people he's known from his country, and then just to know you, and then have to make new friends around you and your friends. You know, that's not that's not logically, sound. This person's still going to be talking to their people back in their country, whether it's exes, friends, all that. It's humane. It's human. You know, they're going to do what they're going to talk to people they know. And one of these episodes, the lady was like, "Oh, I was dating this man, and he was still talking to his ex-girlfriend from the village, and still sending her money, and then he didn't stop sending her money until he found out the girl that he was with in America was pregnant." Which, and I can understand how you left your country. This woman says she loves you. Yeah, she brings you to this country. Great. It's all great. Now you have to make a man of yourself in this country. You don't know at any point in time in your life this lady can just change her mind, a snap of a finger, and you can be gone. You know, all the work you did here in America would be for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand when some certain men go about it this way and they're like, oh shit, she's pregnant now. So now I gotta really clip, or I really have to stop all this stuff that I was doing before because now it's for sure. It's real. It's actually real, because now it's carried on to having a child. You're keeping the child. So now he has real responsibilities, and now he's actually staying. Now he actually feels secure because now he's like, oh, word, like she does love me. Look, she kept the baby. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know we were on that time. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of women don't see like that. They're like, well, I brought you into this country. You should only be talking to me, which is true. You should be only talking to her. But what's the chances of you only talking to her? Like that's got to be crazy. You don't even your English isn't that good, so more than likely you're trying to, relate to people who can relate to you or understand people who can understand you. And that's more than likely people who came back from your country. And then even if they're not from your country, you're trying to meet people now in the United States that was from your country, that can relate to you. And that's what the problem is. A lot of people who are doing these 90 days, they're not trying to be relatable. They're not trying to understand that I'm taking you out of your culture and not understanding that your culture is now supposed to be accepted upon my culture. Because what happens is they're getting these people from different countries and making it seem like now you're Americanized. Now you're American. And that is so unfair because these people have cultures. These people have other things besides America and your love back home in their country, and to ask for someone to forget all that is insane. You know, not to say that I'm not asking them to not love you and shit. Of course, I'm asking them to love you and to care for you. But again, they have a culture. They have a way of living, even though they have to become more Americanized, but they still have that culture. We as Americans need to be more accepting of the culture. You know, you want to date that person, you should be accepting of the culture. You should be like, okay, that's great. That's what you and your culture do. Great. I'm happy for you. What do I do? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the people in the shows, they're doing that too. A large percentage of them are doing that. But a good percentage of them are also like, oh, I brought you here to America. Like, you're American now. You should only be with me. And it's a selfish thing. And it's a problem, you see that they're having with themselves, an insecurity problem. And because they never rectified that insecurity problem, they felt as though they can date someone outside of the country because all the people in this country suck. So they feel as though they can date people outside the country and make and build those people to what they want them to be like. And I believe that is the worst thing you can do. That's my entitled opinion. You can't make and build people, especially make and build men. You can't make and build a man to what you want him to be. You can only make and build a man into what you would think you like him to be. You know what I mean? Because ultimately he's going to make his own decisions on what he as a man wants to be. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to make that decision after you analyze that this is the man that you like and love and want to be like and want to be with. You know what I mean? But that man's gonna make his own decisions. You can't make a man. You know what I'm saying? You're not God. You can't be out here playing God in relationships. That's just not. It's not fair. It's not a fair playing field for you because it comes with a lot of bad stuff when you do that. All right, that's just my entitled opinion. You know, that's just my untitled opinion. All right, so we're about like 45 minutes into this. We're probably moving to like 50. You know what I'm saying? To me. But here's another untitled opinion I have. My untitled opinion is I see why a lot of people are alone. And a lot of people are walking around explaining themselves as if they chose to be alone. And I don't think that's the case. And that's the same case for me as well. I didn't choose to be alone. I'm choosing to be alone now because I've been left alone. You know what I mean? But a lot of us are being left alone. You know that? A lot of us are being left alone. And then they're returning this being left alone like, no, I chose to be alone. Like I hear a lot of people talk about relationships that they've been in, and me myself, the relationships I've been in they're not like one-off relationships. I don't go out with women for like 6 months, 7 months. Like I date women for a consecutive long time, like consecutive, terms, if you want to say that. It's a long time before I realize that this is not going to go out, not going to work. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, with that being said, a lot of us are pretending that that we chose the single life when that's not the truth. When when honesty, it's not to say that nobody wants you. It's that you're not providing outside what it needs to, be provided with. I spoke to this one chick. She was like, I dated this guy since high school up to college and even after college. And in my logical mind, I was like, then why wouldn't you guys get married? She was like, well, he didn't want a child. And I was like, well, you know, I'm pretty sure through high school and college, since you didn't get pregnant then, that didn't matter to you. But then later you brought it up to him like, well, I want a kid. And in my defense, I was like, come on, if you would want a kid or want a family when you're dating someone, that would be the conversations, not waiting until, you know, 28, like, well, I don't want to be dating for, for this long and then we didn't have any kids. Like, wait, we should have discussed this at the fucking beginning then, This is my entitled opinion. A lot of women are making horrible choices in relationships and then turning around saying, I'm choosing to be alone. No, you're not choosing to be alone. Nobody really nobody really wants to deal with the shit that you bring, and you haven't reflected and haven't fixed it. So what you're doing is settling to be by yourself because you don't want to fix that. A lot of people are outside either fixing it, pretending to fixing, or trying in that attempt. But a lot of us single people are like, you know what? I'm stubborn. I'm going to stay this way. And whoever likes me or wants to love me needs to accept me for how I am. I'm not going to fix or change anything. Because a lot of people, male and female, feel as though everyone else is the problem. And that can't be really true. You know, that can't be really true. When you go play the lotto, it's not the lotto's, it's not the lotto's fault you didn't hit, it's just chance. I guess that's a bad example. All right. That was. But continuing on, you know, we're playing with fire here, You're choosing to be alone because you don't want to change your ways. And it's hard to say you don't want to change your ways. It's hard to understand that you can't go about it and say all men or all women are trash, or all men are trash, or all men and women are disloyal, unhonest. And to come to understanding, you have to understand that that's just humans in general. Okay, you can't just say the opposite sex that you're dating, all of them are liars. No, that's just humans. Humans are liars, even yourself. But we have to come to an understanding that if we don't change something about ourselves, then the output is going to be the same. We have to change something ourselves so we can stop accepting certain things from people. That's just my entitled opinion. That's just my entitled opinion. You gotta understand that. You can't, again, like I said, I know these people are like, oh yeah, I'm single because, they didn't wanna they didn't want to have the baby or blah blah blah. And it's like, I honestly look at them and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, for real? You didn't stay with them? Why? And I've been in those instances, or those cases where I've dated someone for so long, like 8 years or straight out of high school and into college, and we broke up and that person went and had a kid. And it was more than likely because I didn't want a kid with that person, not to be like a dickhead or something. It was just like I didn't want a child with that person. And that's a lot of the cases, you know. A lot of the times, most men are like, oh man, I see her upbringing and shit. I don't want to have a child. They don't deal with any of that. I want to go about it differently. You know what I'm saying? So they choose differently. With that being said, you know, that's just my entitled opinion, yo. I believe a lot of us are not changing or reshaping ourselves. Or if we are reshaping ourselves, we're not reshaping ourselves for a better relationship solution. We're reshaping ourselves for us to be stubborn. We're not absorbing the fact that change is good, growth is good, you know. And along with that growth, you have to deal with some good and some bad, and that is okay. I'm not saying to accept disloyal, disrespectful people, but you have to understand if you're continually meeting disloyal and disrespectful people, why is that? What about your life always accepts these acts? And why do you feel deemed necessary to date people who always lie to you or who make you feel like they're disloyal to you? And why do you feel as though you can fix disloyal or dishonest people? I believe if you feel as though you can fix disloyal or dishonest people, you have to show the world you can fix a car. Like literally break the car down just to its wheel and then reassemble it again. Then you can go about walking the earth as if you can fix people. But if you cannot do that, then you shouldn't. Then you should just be working on how to fix yourself so you can, you know, be 50-50 with a person to then be whole. You know what I mean? Because you have to come in with what you know and then let them come in what they know and then work on that, collaborate so you can make a unity. You know, you can't come into a relationship with just your ideals and then want this person to have just your ideals and your beliefs and how you doing it. That doesn't work. That doesn't make it fair game. You know what I mean? And I understand a lot of women don't want, don't want to be ruled or don't want to, you know, feel like they're being led by a man and they want to lead, which is okay. But at some point in life, you have to let that man lead and you have to sit back and be okay with it. But in my honest opinion, I believe that's when it gets into marriage. All right. If you're in a relationship, you guys are just both leading each other into wherever you guys want to go to, you know, and that's just relationships. You guys are both driving a wheel, taking left, right, and then arguing about which left, right wasn't right to take. This is my entitled opinion. But anyways, enough of that untitled opinion. Let's get into this segment. Let's get into the segment of who asked shoes, huh? Yes. Another segment of Who Asked Yous. Who Asked You? Now, this segment is brought to you by Zara's. Run down to your local Zara's, get yourself a fit. Zara has some of the best collections for you, yourself, kids, women of all ranges, sizes, all right, and genres or genders, not genres. All right, so run down to your local Zara's, get yourself a fit. Don't tell them I sent you because they don't ever send me shit. All right. Also, this YouTube is also brought to you by Rush Brothers. Um, Go ahead and Instagram Rush Bros. Link up with them. They are doing their new movement out there. Go ahead and Google it. You know what I'm saying? Instagram it. This also brought to you by Christopher like Alexander. He does this real estate and he also does a lot of other side work that you can use and utilize. So go ahead and hit up at Realty by Chris. That's on the IG, Instagram, I believe everywhere else. Google him. A lot of good real estate work, a lot of good notary work if you need it. Hit up that guy. He'll definitely assist you with your findings. All right. Again, that was Rush Brothers is promoting here, and that's also Realty by Chris, also Zara's, and more than likely we'll have more coming on or more ads and sponsors for me to bring to you. All right, so we're gonna go into the segment. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Oh, I doubt that song was playing because I wasn't sharing my screen and letting the audio play. So I'm pretty sure we will see for like a few minutes with nothing to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Whatever. Okay, Jovan Young White shares text accusing Kalani of abuse amid the singer's reported restraining order. Oh shit. I mean, she look abusive. But who asked you? You know? Who asked me? Who asked you not to share them texts earlier? And if you knew your girl was abusive, why you even have a baby with this chick? Have a baby by me, baby, be a millionaire. Now look at you going through all these stupid ass problems. All right, who asked you, Javon Young, write the shit in text? Oh man, do that shit in the court system and deal with that shit on your own, blood. All right. Anyways, Simone Biles' estranged mother speaks about wanting to reunite with her. Yo, who asked you? Who asked you to be estranged and now want to come and reunite after the motherfuckers is doing so good? Girl, move on. Go ahead and meet your mom. You know, let her get all that out of her. But girl, go ahead and live your life, man. She's been estranged. Let her be strange. You know what I'm saying? What's tea, sis? Carly Red opens up about her fiance recently welcoming a child and seemingly announces this. Who asked you? Like who asked Carly Red about her fiance and who wanted to know? Like, why do we know as a public that your fiance has a baby coming and you wanted to stay with him? Like, why do we need to know that as a public? And why do we need to know about anything you're announcing? Like, who asked you, sis? Like Carly Red, who asked you? You know what I'm saying? Florida mom accidentally runs over a 12-year-old daughter on first day of school. Hey, yo, like, who asked you not to put the car in park and let that kid go in front of the car? This is why you gotta tell your kid to, wait until I peel off and then cross, or this is why you gotta walk your kid out the car, you know what I'm saying, together to avoid simpleton shit like this, you know what I mean? Who asked you not to be more alert? You ran over your own 12-year-old daughter on the first day of school too. Jesus Christ. Who asked to give you a license? That's really what we need to have a conversation. Like, who gave you that license? Moving on. Kiki Palmer poses with Darius Jackson in first family photo seen since their mutual abuse allegations. Well, I mean, that is the daddy, right? I mean, who asked you to post this information? Who asked for this? Like, what are you supposed to suspect? Like, what are you supposed to or expect? You know, she got with the guy. I'm pretty sure he was abusive or whatever it was when they before they had the kid, and she wanted to deal with it and whatever happened. And now you're like, oh well, she's posing with him. Yes, that's the fucking kid's father. Who asked you to get pictures or even give us this information? Sky Jackson trends online after reports of her alleged domestic battery arrest goes viral. Who asked you, Sky Jackson? Who asked the Shade Room to give us any of that information? Yeah, I'm gonna start going on TNZ soon. You know what I mean? Milwaukee hired employees charged with murder after an altercation gone wrong. Oh, okay. Uh, I mean, who asked you to make this altercation go left? And this on the previous podcast. A lot of people don't have the skills to deter or rectify a situation without making it go left. A lot of people aren't a deterrent. You know, a lot of people don't even know how to de-escalate a situation. That was what I was looking for. And the fact that a lot of them don't know how to de-escalate, this is what happens. All right. A lot of people, this should be taught nationally how to de-escalate. All right. Everything should be taught how to de-escalate. We're not asking you to take away your manhood or your likelihood or your hoodness or whatever, but there should be a time where you should have to de-escalate the situation where it doesn't have to go that way. But there is a time where it does go that way, and that's just life. But this right here, who asked you to fucking hide to do or to not be prepared to de-escalate a situation? You should be charged with murder. Continuing on. All right. Everything you need to know about the 2024 election will shape the Supreme Court for decades to come. Yes, I've been trying to tell you guys. I've been trying to tell you. But who asked you? You know what I mean? Who asked you? The Shade Room tests women's knowledge on menopause and VMS at the Paris Olympics. Who asked you to do that? They're at the Paris Olympics and you want to question these women about menopause? What are we talking about here? Who asked you? Oh, well, let's go back here. Let's do a few more here. Authorities in Guatemala reportedly investigate after 15-year-old girl is electrocuted and decapitated by power lines. Who asked you to be over there by them what? Yo, Guatemala, who asked you not to investigate that shit? That go to charge people. Who actually get married? At City Hall, call it a day. You know what I'm saying? Who asked you? You don't got the funds, then go down to City Hall and call it a day. Former food service director sentenced after allegedly stealing $1.5 million worth of chicken from Illinois school district. Damn, who asked you to steal all that chicken? And who asked you how to sentence her for allegedly stealing? Okay, I understand now why they sentenced her. They're not sentencing her because of the chicken wings. They're sentencing her because of the value and the money and what she's stolen, compromised the school district and the expenses report. So I understand that, but man, sentencing her, that's insane. You act like she pocketed that money. Was she out there selling chickens? That's insane. Ohio officer charged in shooting death of 21-year-old pregnant woman who was shoplifting. Did I just read that? Who was suspected of shoplifting? Who asked you to shoot her? Another non-de-escalator. Who asked you to do that? You didn't notice she was pregnant? Yeah, you should go to jail. You should go to jail for life. Be stripped. Your family shouldn't get any of that pension money. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's move on. World star. Soon I'll start, listening to some of these songs together, and then we'll rate them. But in the meantime, let's continue on with the Who Asked Shoes. Mike Rubin says he made the decision to not have Not Like Us played at his all-white party while Drake was there. Now, I can still use the Who Asked You because obviously the Breakfast Club is the one who's asking. But why did we want to know why you did not play that song? I'm pretty sure it was obvious why you didn't play that song. But at this point in your life, is Drake really going around clubs like, yo, I'm about to be in here, don't play that song? I mean, I can understand if he is, because I'd be like, damn, dog, like, they not, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want that song being played if I'm around. No funny shit. But who asked you? I didn't have to ask. I'm pretty sure they should have known. Game over. Chick gets arrested after trying to use a woman's ID to buy a laptop at Best Buy. Who asked you to do that? Who asked you not to have it any at the Best Buy too? That goes crazy. Like, who asked you to go in there with another woman's ID to buy a laptop? Like, and is that all you need? I think this information is who asked you? Who actually give us a new trailer or a new movie for Craven? Woman catching heat on social media after listing the 4 things she doesn't do as a married woman. Who asked you to list any of these things on social media? Aren't you married? A lot of people on social media aren't married, right? Moving on. They're alone, and you're listing things that you don't do. Anyways, sheesh. Latin chick with a massive wagon pulls down her pants and twerks in her thong during baseball game. Like, you can tell this is like a local baseball. Like, who asked you to do that? Like, who asked you to do that? And then women wonder why men are pervs. Look. Y'all create pervs. I'm just saying. My Untitled Opinion. All bad. 18-year-old films himself stabbing 5 people at random in Turkey. In Turkey, allegedly imitating his favorite video game. Yo, who the fuck asked you to do that? Like, who the fuck didn't call the police? And why didn't they all jump and kill your ass so you can know that you don't come back like your favorite video game? Hmm? Who asked for this? No. Some people don't know we are currently still under Trump's tax plan. Construction worker educates. We are fitting the bill. All right. I mean, who asked you? You know, they say usually we're dealing with the president's backlash when they leave. So once Biden leaves, we'll be dealing with his backlash and whatever he had for changes. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, new life hack: TikToker shows how to get food in the movie theater. They're about to catch on. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people know how to get food in the movie theaters. Like, who asked you? Who asked you to get online on a public page to expose how to do it, as if they're not going to look at this and then get the information to now, assist on people not doing this? You know what I mean? The fuck? Who asked you, bro? Who asked you to do that dumbness? Anyways, Holly Berry's yam stealing the spotlight at Netflix premiere, The Union movie with Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, who asked you? You know she's paying. You know she's paying spousal support, right? She ain't got no money. Her yams better be stealing something. Who asked you? Hmm? Who asked you to post her yams stealing the spot? Now I'm looking at the picture. I don't see the yams. I see something, but no. Domestic violence. Women kept trying to get back into the car after getting beat by her man. Who asked you to post this? Who's posting, taking the video and watching all this? Like, who's asking you to post any of this? And who's asking you to get beat by your man and get back into the car? Damn. Home, robbed, and shot, winning 3K jackpot at the Hard Rock, Tampa, Florida. Like, it's only 3 grand. Like, it's only $1,000. You know what I'm saying? Like, who asked you to rob and shoot these people? It's only 3,000. Like, add the 3,000 is gonna be gone when you get it. Come on, man. Who asked for that? Who asked for security not to be looking out and making sure some of these people ain't getting watched and walked home, man? Huh? Come on, bro. You're supposed to keep that between the fellas. You know, bro lost all the women in his phone once they saw this. No, I'm not with the clickbait. You might as well tell me so I can then watch it so I can see it. You know what I mean? But who asked you? Who asked you to do any of that and then not give us the proper information? Dude destroys his phone so his girlfriend couldn't go through it. I mean, hey, who actually date that man, huh? You know what I'm saying? Kai Cenat blasts TMZ for using a pic of him and Disney star Sky Jackson as the cover of their article, speaking of her recent domestic battery arrest. Hey, man, who asked you not to be prepared for that, Kai, huh? And who asked TMZ to be putting a picture of him and the chick? Like, is she dealing with an arrest? Why can't you just have a picture of this her by herself? Hmm? Who asked you? Why he shoots armed 19-year-old suspect inside 7-Eleven? I mean, who asked you not to shoot? You had better shot him because you would shot a black man if he was on. Huh? All right, moving on. That's enough of this world star. Yeah. Let's see what's going on in the breaking news, huh? See what's going on in the world. In the world, the former president has called Kamala Harris' rise unconstitutional and a coup. Some critics warn it may be a pretext to question the outcome if he loses again. Well, who asked you, Trump? who asked you if her shit was unconstitutional? I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of shit you do, my guy, is unconstitutional and coup too. You know, it's like a little coup d'etat. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, who asked you, Trump? A lot of these guys are clowns. Trump, Biden, Kamala, a lot of these guys are clowns. It's not to say that I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that they push for, you know, but you have to understand the game with politics. They'll make you agree or ride with some of the stuff that they push, but they also have a lot of hidden agendas behind those pushes, you know. Okay, just for shits and giggles. All right, they had Obamacare. All right, we were pushing for we're like great, we all have Obamacare, but behind that Obamacare, right, was a trans bathroom, you know, and I just still to this day don't understand why how we let that slip through the cracks. Like black people were coming up in this country and weren't even able to use the bathroom. It was a white only bathroom. They had to go through centuries, long time to fight so it can be a public bathroom used by both whites and blacks. Years and decades and hundreds of years go by, and they introduce a trans bathroom. Like there's a bathroom for the men, for the women, for the handicapped, and for the trans. Like this is insane. Did they need their own bathroom? And aren't they all tax-paying citizens? When they pay the taxes, what does the taxes say? Are they male or female? Hmm? You woke up feeling femalish today? Hey, if the women accept you in the bathroom, then be my guest. But you gotta understand what comes with that. You know, a lot of people are gonna question that. Moving on, dragging that, dragging that. Iran's mixed signals leave some allies in the dark and set region on edge. Wow, who asked you, huh? If you've known, Russia has been having a problem over there. They've seized a good amount of Russia that's never happened before since like World War II. And who asked Russia not to be on their 10 toes, man? This shit goes crazy. Disney wants wrongful death suit thrown out because a widower bought an Epcot ticket and had Disney Plus. Who the fuck asked you? Who the fuck asked you? Disney? Hmm? Man, pay up. Americans, especially those under 35, are changing their tune on alcohol. Who asked you? Huh? If anything, we're changing our tune on alcohol because there's a bunch of weed dispensaries now. Fucking no reason for me to, after my ass done got high, to go to the fucking liquor store to pay taxes again. He thought he'd never fall in love. At 60, he met the love of his life on vacation. Aw, but who asked you? You met at 60, you met her? Great. Great. George Clooney has choice words for Quentin Tarantino. Who asked you, Clooney? Hmm? Who asked you to have any words for the fucking great Quentin Tarantino? Judge goes viral again after suspect tells him to kiss my ass. Whoa. Who asked you to tell the judge to kiss my ass, huh? Wow. That judge must have told him a new asshole. Katy Perry video under investigation after allegedly filming in protected area without permission. Ooh, Katy Perry. Who asked you to do that? You knew you weren't supposed to do that. Anyways, gonna end the stream now, man. I hope y'all tuned in. I hope y'all liked it. You know, I hope it satisfies your needs. You know, go out there and be great, man. Be different. You know, be delightful. Be happy. Smile. In down times, bad times, still try to find a way to smile. You know what I mean? Um, communicate. Let's communicate, people. It's okay to go out there and reach out for a hand. Let's help people. Let's unite. If anything, let's just unite. Let's stop being, apart, separating from each other. Let's unite. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for listening. Because who asked you to listen, right? Who asked you not to listen to me? You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate it. Again, tune in again for another segment of the Untitled Opinions and Who Asked Shoes. Be great. If you can't be great, then just be you. Stay safe. If you can't stay safe, then stay dangerous. All right? And always know it's us, never them. Be good, y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Peace.